What is up? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. Back with some more Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. And this is actually my first Metal Gear video on this channel. But just so you know, in case you're new, I have three favorite gaming franchises. And obviously you know probably two of them. The Resident Evil franchise, which I upload the most, and the Final Fantasy. But the third of that group would be the Metal Gear Solid franchise. I am a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. And a little nice tip for you as well is this game, MGS3, is actually my second favorite game overall, only behind the original Resident Evil 4. So, yeah, that year, 2004, was a pretty damn big year for games for me personally. But enough of that. I'm here to talk about the whole remake thing with Metal Gear Solid. Now, when the news broke that they were remaking Metal Gear Solid 3, I was kind of a little, I guess you can say, caught off guard, confused. Not to say that it was something that I necessarily thought was bad, but just I didn't really expect it. I thought kind of Metal Gear was basically on that point right now where, other than what they did recently with bringing back the games in a collection pack, I didn't think they were going to do anything new or, let alone a remake. That was first on my mind. Maybe they might do some new random title, but I was thinking more lines of, that was it. But in terms of like going back to redo and remake existing Metal Gear Solid games, that was kind of caught me off guard a little bit. But I've always said, I have no problem with them remaking, old classic games, and Metal Gear Solid is almost 2 decades old. So, damn, every time I say it, makes me feel like an old man. But basically, I was like, okay, that's fine. As long as it's fun, entertaining, and even if it does things maybe I don't personally like, I can always go back and play the original one, because as I said, I'm playing it right now. But in my opinion, and this has always kind of just baffled me and kind of confused me, because I love Metal Gear Solid franchise. I could be here all day talking about the Metal Gear Solid franchise, the moments I've had within the franchise, and the games. As I said, MGS3 is my favorite, but I love Metal Gear Solid 2. Metal Gear Solid 2 probably had more of an impact on me, just gaming wise and how I look at things, probably even more than 3. I just like 3 better overall. Then obviously Metal Gear Solid on the PS1 and Guns of the Patriots. And while I wasn't the craziest of Metal Gear Solid 5, I still enjoyed it. It was still, I don't blame them trying to do something different. It's just something that wasn't personally for my taste, but you can't deny they put a lot of effort behind it, and I did enjoy it. But we keep talking about, remakes for Metal Gear Solid. They're going to do Metal Gear Solid 3, or they're going to do another one. But there's these couple games in the franchise, and this has always confused me, that have always been there. They're very important to the franchise, because we wouldn't have the Metal Gear Solid games without these games. But yet I never hear anybody talk about them. It's like they just get buried and forgotten. And I feel like the potential for remakes are with these games and not in Metal Gear Solid 3. Because let's just be honest, Metal Gear Solid 3 holds up well to this day. I'll easily pop this thing in and play it. Yes, this game is 2 decades old, but there's a couple of other games that are older than my lifespan. And so maybe I'm not as old as I thought anymore, but they're older than me. They're very important, and maybe some of you know where I'm going with this, but I feel like these are the games that need to be remade more than any of the Metal Gear Solid games. Because I feel like this is, to a lot of people, the missing link that I don't think a lot of people played. And the funny part is, neither of these 2 games, which are on this collection thing, or even really advertised. Like, if you look at the cover of the game, you just see Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid 2, and Metal Gear Solid 3. Well, you'd be surprised there's more games than that. They have the VR missions for Metal Gear Solid, but you also have a couple of other games that are on here that basically started the franchise. We wouldn't have these Solid games without these games that came out on the NES days. And that would be none other than the one that started all, Metal Gear, and then eventually the sequel, Metal Gear 2. They also have Snake's Revenge on here as well, which I think is cool. But my point being, of all the games in the remake in the Metal Gear Solid franchise, it's Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2. I mean, these are two important entries. I've even heard someone say, hey, you know what they should do? They should just put these games together and just call it Metal Gear Solid 6. And, you know, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But, you know, these are the two games, you know, this is Metal Gear, and then they got Metal Gear 2. But these are the ones that need the remake more than anything in Metal Gear Solid. I mean, yeah, you could argue maybe Metal Gear Solid, but you know, you had that one they did on the GameCube. But yeah, Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2, they need the remakes more. It's not even a debate. I mean, as I said, this game is older than me, for God's sake, so you know it needs that love, because I don't think a lot of people have played these games. And once again, they may be surprised these games are on the collection pass, because I didn't see any advertised for it whatsoever. You know, the only reason I knew is I looked up online. They told me, boy, you know, you hold the cover of the game. It doesn't tell you that on the cover. They just have, you know, the 3 Metal Gear Solid entries, and it's just weird. It's an important entry to Solid Snake and Big Boss, and as well as Gray Fox, and it just gets completely just forgotten or overlooked. And I would love to see these things remade in today's technology and stuff. Just imagine like the possibilities, and why we don't hear more outcry for these two being remade and not something like Metal Gear Solid 3. Once again, I think it makes sense for me, of all people, to make this debate, because Metal Gear Solid 3 is my all-time favorite game in the Metal Gear Solid franchise, my second favorite all-time game of all time. But it doesn't need the remake more than Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2. It's not even close. Those are the two that need it, and I hope that more people with this collection find out these games, just play them, and kind of be like, hey, you know, that's where you need to put the remake talent or the remake money in. But you know why they're doing Metal Gear Solid 3. Obviously, it's a fan favorite. It's popular. It's gonna get them some money, and hopefully they won't mess up too much. Because as I said, it is gonna be hard to put a lot of faith in Konami, and maybe that's the biggest reason why a lot of people probably aren't asking for Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 remake, just because, you know, with Konami, you have no idea what they're gonna do. They're, you know, it's usually not very good, but nonetheless, that is my opinion on what should get remade in Metal Gear franchise. I want to hear what your guys' opinion. Do you think Metal Gear 1 and 2 need the remake a lot more than Metal Gear Solid 3? Do you think it's like the missing link to a lot of things, and seeing it updated to today's standards would be a huge thing, something that really gets you excited? Because honestly, outside of that, there's not too much to really get excited with the Metal Gear franchise. I mean, I'll play Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, but it's not like I'm jumping out the woodworks for it. Maybe it's just because it's obviously got Konami behind it now, or today's Konami, not back in the day. But let me know your opinion down below. But that is going to be it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and hopefully I can see you guys back in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you guys back on the next one. See you later. Peace.